1, and we're live.
Hey folks, Tuesday night in Team FYN Sports and Circuit World of East Ellijay presents Gilmer Bobcats Turf Talk. We want to thank Shane's Rib Shack. Want to thank those guys down there for always providing a meal, and also Pepsi for drinks. Got this nice screen up here. I would introduce you, Coach, but they all know now. I mean, it's like I don't have to write it down.
Man,
there you go. We have head coach with us tonight, head coach Casey Wingard of the Bobcats. Also, the offensive line coach, Tim Taylor's with us. And, folks, this is the only place in town, only place you'll ever find a Grizzly on the couch. We have senior. That's it. This is it, man. Yeah. I mean, boom. I mean, we're making news tonight. Senior number 5 on the couch with us right now in our first segment. Linebacker, Grizzly Bleed Love. So your name is Grizzly? Yeah. All right, we might have to tell us all about that. No, you don't have to do it right now. Okay. Also joining us, number 4 halfback Blake Bunton. Let's go through. We're talking Quad A Region 6 football. Let's go through last Friday night around the region in Quad A Region 6. Last week around the region, Northwest Whitfield over Lafayette 49-7. Heritage over Southeast Whitfield 61-21, and Pickens over the Bobcats 62-0. Ridgeland was off last Friday night. This Friday night at 7:30, the Ridgeland Panthers will host the Lafayette Ramblers. Southeast Whitfield will host Pickens Dragons, and Northwest Whitfield will host Heritage. Gilmer's off this week. They got a bye week. Coach, week after next, you're going to be hosting Southeast Whitfield. Let's talk about up to this point. This is your bye in the region,
right?
Okay. What are the biggest things we're working on right now? I mean, with this bye week, getting ready for Southeast Whitfield.
Basically, what we've been working on, today for this bye week is formations, recognizing what they do offensively, where they want to attack, and then their defense. How they line up, and what we think they're going to do, and all that kind of good stuff for our offense as well. And basically working on ourselves. Just fundamentals, going back and doing a bunch of indie time, a bunch of fundamental stuff, just working. Trying to take a breath right now and then work on ourselves.
Coach Taylor, I have you haven't been here in a couple weeks, and I've asked Coach Wingard and some of the other coaches some of the things that are happening on the field that's not translating. Some of the things in your offensive line that you're seeing the guys really grow, that maybe people up in the stands not translating, and somebody's not able to see. But what are some of the things? Can you highlight some of the things that you see these young men actually growing in as you're coaching them?
Yes, certainly. We've improved tremendously up front. We're a very young offensive line and a very young team right now. But we've improved tremendously. We put in a new system this spring. Kids are knowing the system a lot better, and that helps them with their assignments, so they have more confidence in what they do. But they're just basically coming off the ball better and playing with more confidence, and we're getting a lot of push up front. We were able to push some people around and create some holes, and it didn't translate always because we had some other problems, some injuries and some things in our backfield, but we're getting there.
Okay, so you put a new program in place. It's time for the Bobcats to stay with the program. I mean, we really shouldn't be back with these young men. I mean, how tough is it, Coach, when you got young men that are seniors, juniors, and they've showed up a couple seasons putting a new program in place? Right,
and that's kind of when I addressed the team last year in this situation. And then I addressed the team too this year in the same. I've kind of been through that. I've been through what they went through. When I went down to Georgia Southern, I went through 3 head coaches, 3 different coaching staffs. So I kind of know how that revolving door translates into the kids, into the program, and all that. So kind of rallying around that common ground and figuring out with them, this is going to be our identity. We're going to work together to get better. We're going to focus on ourselves, and we're here for y'all and with y'all. And I think the kids respond well to that. The attitudes on the team, kind of corralling the team and holding them together, has not really been a huge challenge, because we've had some seniors step up. We've had some younger kids step up, take ownership. Like, they come on the show every week and you ask them to own up and all that. They do that. and it's kind of been a great thing. It's kind of snowballed into a positive atmosphere at practice, working to get better, kind of putting the water around them, all the negativity that you hear out there, kind of putting that out of their mind and just focusing on us on the football field right now. That's what we got to worry about, because we're the ones out there. We can't worry about every other little factor. So they've done a phenomenal job with that.
Coach, let me ask you. You've coached several years.
That's an understatement.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many years?
This
You don't
this-
know me.
this-
It's so long.
This is 30. So,
30.
yeah.
Been coaching 30 years. So I want to go with it. Now that you said it, Coach, let me back up. Coach, you've been at this for 30 years now. But talk about through your experience. When you say you got a bunch of young guys up front, the big guys are starting to push some guys around. Are you out there with your career and what you have seen over your career? Are you saying to yourself, man, if I could just keep these guys together, if I could keep working with these guys, maybe some people out there don't know it, but when these guys step on the field, some of these sophomores, some of these juniors,
Right.
a year from now, 2 years from now, they are going to be the real deal.
It makes a tremendous difference when a young man's been in the weight room 12 months, 24 months, 36 months with the case of our freshmen that we're trying to play with and some of our running backs right now. They have 36 months to lift weights before they play their senior year if they stay and become what we call a program player. And that's what we're interested in, because the biggest thing, and I think one of the greatest rewards of coaching, is see players develop over time. And I go back and think about all the young men that I've coached who were very, very poor athletes when they were freshmen and sophomores, and they became really good players by the time they were seniors. And so I can look at these young men now and see they are already so much farther ahead than a lot of those kids were. So I can project that and say they're going to be good. So,
Is your offensive line getting stronger as the week goes on? Do you see them there? And I like that answer, because, you know, I hadn't really thought about that. You got some new guys that come in to the program, and they're not in the weight room 3 years. They're not in the weight room 2 years. So some of these guys are getting stronger every single week, starting to push some guys around. Let me ask you this. You mind if I call you Grizzly?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, just checking. I'm sorry, man. But I mean, I'll say it on live TV. That's pretty darn cool. I mean, that's pretty. Hey, you know, who's your roommate in college? Grizzly. Okay, number 5, Grizzly Breedlove. You're a senior and you're a linebacker. This year in the linebacker corps, you know, obviously you guys are you got a lot of young players on that defensive side. Not a lot of depth on the sidelines, so you guys don't get to come in and out. I mean, some of the teams that are sitting there with 100 guys on the sideline with a helmet on, you guys don't get to run in and out and take those breaks like some of the other teams. How are you guys doing getting through a full game? How's the conditioning that you've gone through? Are you guys getting stronger? How's your endurance for a full game?
Honestly, I believe that, you know, we're doing pretty good. I'm not winded, you know. It's a lot of fun being out there and playing with all the guys. I enjoy it. Actually, I enjoy every second of it. I love football. As a team, you know, I feel like we come together when we need to, and that's really what matters.
Well, let me ask that. When you say you love football, okay, you know, let me take off from that. When you love football, you know, some of these losses are tough, okay. You know, it's not turning out on Friday night like you would like for it to. Anybody that loves football, but are you showing up on Monday as a team showing up, not just you, as a team showing up and say, hey, that one's gone, let's get to work, attitude good?
Yes, sir. Everybody, you know, Monday comes around and we're just ready to go to work, ready to start over and look forward to the next week of playing football.
Well, I think before I end here, this 2017 Gilmer Bobcat team is the team of character to me, okay, and I'm proud to have my purple on. Let's get to you, Mr. Bunton. You've been waiting over there. It's your 3rd time for coming to visit us this year. You're a regular on the show. Huh?
Professional.
Yeah, okay. Halfback, also kick returns. Talk about the progression of the season. You're a senior. How is the attitude of the team? I know what Mr. Breedlove said. And how's the attitude of the team out there on Friday nights?
Friday, we don't really we don't really over-exaggerate being hyped. We just all try and focus for the most part. We're basically just trying not to listen to everyone saying, "Oh, we suck. You guys are awful." We're just trying to sit there and say, "Oh, all right, we're facing them. We got to do what we got to do," and that's what we've been doing.
Block out the noise.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, anybody says, "Well, you guys are, not any good," just block out the noise. Go out and do your job, right? So, it's, I guess, on Friday night, the first one thing you got to focus on is doing your job. Mr. Breedlove, one more time. Before we go into our first segment, I asked everybody, what are you working on this week? When you showed up, what did you say, I want to personally work on? I want to get better at this, and I need to work on personally. What did you say that was this week?
My responsibilities. Making sure I can do them to the best of my ability.
How about you, Mr. Bond? What did you say this week you wanted to work on?
Learning all the plays for halfback and doing my job correctly.
Okay. On the defensive side of the ball, Southeast Whitfield's got a running back that, if given the opportunity, he can run 200 yards. And then if the defense adjusts on him, he can get 34 yards. So on the defensive side, you guys are going to be working on that next week. You're going to be working on it next week, trying to contain their running game.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, I appreciate you very much. We're going to take a brief break. We want to thank these guys here. We'll come back. I think I have a question for you in the second part I've been holding.
I'm excited.
Are you? I can see it. I can see it.
Awesome.
We'll be back right after this with two more Bobcats. We got Samuel Harris is going to join us right after this, and Avery Bertolini. And, again, our Coach Taylor and Coach Wingard will be back with us right after these messages. Take us a break, Richie.
Days Chevrolet in Jasper is dropping the hammer. Over $11,000 off MSRP on new Silverados. Just look what we've done to the price on this new LT Crew Cab. Save over $11,000 and pay just $32,500. And Days Chevy is dropping the hammer in a big way on all new Chevy Malibus. Save over $6,500 and pay just $17,900. The savings are real and they're big at Days Chevrolet in Jasper.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia, Ellijay, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Hi, I'm Casey McGraw, the General Manager of Schottenkirk Ford. We're going to start doing something here at Schottenkirk that we're really excited about. You may have already noticed our Facebook page, the new edition of the 360-degree videos. This allows the user to control the video in virtual reality and see it from any angle you choose, simply by moving your device or scrolling with your finger or your mouse. At Schottenkirk, we've decided to take this groundbreaking technology and apply it to the car shopping experience. Now, if you're interested in a new truck, a family car, or a brand new convertible Mustang, you can simply log on to our Facebook page or our YouTube page and see it for yourself in full HD 360-degree detail. Or contact one of our sales associates who will send you the link directly. If you like what you see and want to take it for a test drive, simply stop on by and take it for a spin. At Schottenkirk Ford, we're committed to not only keep up with new market technology, but we strive to be innovators, while always keeping your comfort and convenience as our #1 priority. So follow us on Facebook, check out our new 360 VR videos, and let me know if there's anything I can do for you.
And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there. All I do is win, win.
We're live.
Hey, it's Tuesday night, and that means Team FYN Sports and Circuit World of East Ellijay present Gilmer Bobcats Turf Talk. We want to thank Shane's Rib Shack. Always thank them for the meal, and Pepsi for our drinks. We're here with head coach Casey Wingard and offensive line coach Tim Taylor. Joining us on the couch for this second half of the show, senior number 73, defensive lineman Samuel Harris, and junior, not senior yet. Don't go jumping nowhere. Junior number 8, free safety Avery Bertolini. Coach, let me ask you a question. Now, I talked about what you're working on this week. But next week we start looking at Southeast Whitfield. Mm-hmm. They won against Lafayette, but they lost against Heritage, and two different sets of stats. Right. Lafayette, they've got a couple hundred yards in the air, a couple hundred yards on the ground. They do have a couple guys that can run the ball, but they got one guy that you're going to have to contain and focus in on. And then over at Heritage shut them down on the offensive line. Mm-hmm. What do you see with Southeast Whitfield with those two games, two different kind of games, right, totally, that you got to work on next week?
When we're looking at tape and film with that, you've got to take into account of everything, that they can beat you in the air, they can beat you on the ground. They do have weapons, with throwing the ball, getting little out routes, and they've got a powerful running back. So when we're breaking down, we're mainly looking at formations, what they like to do when they run out of this set, what they did against other teams, how they tried to attack other teams. And plus the way we play our defense and the way our alignment is what we think that they would try to hit us with, what the angles are. So that's what we look at when we look at that. But you're right, two different completely type game styles when you look at that. And that's kind of hard going into a game where you see, heavy run, heavy pass with that. And Heritage did a good job. So you kind of say, well, that's what they were trying to do to Heritage, and you see how they reacted to it. So a lot of good film that we've been watching for that. So I think it's going to give our kids a good bead going into the rest of this week and then next week.
Not to get off course of what we're talking about with Southeast Whitfield, but is Heritage what I would call, are they the dark horse of this region? Are they the team? What do you think? Are they the team that, we talk about some other teams when we talk about this region, and Heritage doesn't come up as in the conversation sometimes? Are they kind of, you've played Heritage, right? You've watched film on Heritage. Mm-hmm. Are they kind of the dark horse in this team, the region?
I would think so. They I don't know, for the dark horse, they've got a very solid, Coach Slaughter does a wonderful job with them as far as, fundamentals and going through with their offensive scheme and defensive scheme. And they've got some good weapons, and they've got some players put in positions that go out and make plays defensively and offensively. With everybody, when you line the region up, they're definitely not overlooked, but you can't go into that game thinking, we don't have to worry about this, or we don't have to worry about this formation or this pass set or this defense that they're running, because they can hit you from a lot of different angles. I think they've done very well for what they've got, in our region.
Let me ask you, Coach Taylor. You said earlier the offensive line getting to where they're starting to push some guys around, and the way they're coming together. You have a full week. To work on them, and then they have a week to work on their opponent. What are you seeing with Southeast Whitfield as far as in their first two region games? Because they got exactly two different games you can look at on field, from Heritage to Lafayette. What are you looking at on their defensive side that maybe these guys can push them around to get some offense turning?
Well, they're a good football team, and we've been struggling as an offense, and we've also been improving. And so what we're trying to do is just build on the things that we've done and spend this week very much like a spring practice week of just trying to improve fundamentals, because that's what I tell the players all the time is there's no magic formula. You win or you lose based on how you do your fundamentals. And it's no big secret. If you do your job, do what your coach do, give 100% effort every rep, you're going to get better, and you're going to cross stripes and hang on to football. So we're just mainly focusing on our own selves right now, and we'll look more at them next week as we develop.
Samuel, defensive line, number 73, you're a senior. How are the seniors on that defense? How are you guys as seniors staying positive and keeping a good attitude for the juniors, the sophomores, the freshmen on the sideline? How are you guys going out there on Friday night and keeping a good positive attitude for those guys?
Well, we've been through a lot of different coaching staff, so we kind of know the ups and downs of it. So we try to stay positive as much as we can to help them know that eventually we'll get somewhere where we're doing a lot better than what we are now, that we have to build up the program to.
So you've been through this, so you're able to say to the juniors and the sophomores, we've seen this, guys. We've seen this. Really, you're going to be okay. You guys, the younger guys, you're going to get in a good system here, and you're able to keep a positive attitude on the field with keep those guys pumped up.
Yeah.
How about Southeast Whitfield? Now, what are some of the things you're working on this week on your defense? Coach says this week we're focusing on us. So what are some of the defensive things all you guys are working on this week as a team?
Definitely knowing our job a lot better and being able to get to the ball, because they have a pretty good running back. So we gotta be able to get down the line and do our job on the defensive line and come off the ball a lot better.
Avery, let me ask you the same thing. As you're a free safety, picking up these guys deep, being ready for them, making the adjustments. I mean, how's that coming along for you as the season develops?
I'm getting better at it. I still am struggling with recognizing on full verticals and stuff like that, but I'm getting better at coming up and making the play on the run and kind of diagnosing the play or whatever, especially with the coaches giving us film each week and going over it and all that.
As a free safety, you have to. There's times when you have to be patient, and you have to be patient and wait for the play to develop. How is that? Because as you're growing in this position, you got a guy that might throw the ball, that you have to be patient and pay attention to what's going on deep out there, or you got start running and you might have to pick them up in the secondary there. So how's that coming along for you?
It's kind of the same thing. I gotta do my job first, which is the pass, and then I gotta trust that my linemen and linebackers will help me with the run. and that they'll come up and make the play too with me.
Okay. Let me ask you, because we're coming down to the end of the show, Samuel, same thing. You answered it in a way for the team, but I just want to ask you directly, like when you get there Monday, what did you say I want to work on? What did you say I want to get better at? I want to execute better. I want to focus on this with you. What did you say that was?
I need to learn to get off the ball a lot faster and be able to read the defense faster and better than I did.
How about you, Avery? Same thing. What did you come to work this Monday and say I have to focus on?
Pass coverage, getting better at one-on-one, and diagnosing that when they cross my zone that I have that guy, or I got to shout that he's going to a different zone, or just kind of reading the play.
Well, guys, I'm excited every Tuesday night to have all of you guys come on the couch, be here, and talk about the games. But what I really like is how you guys are keeping the attitude, a good attitude, positive, focused, and come back Monday morning to work every Monday, regardless of the noise. So you got to block out the noise, right?
That's right.
Coach, are you able to look at now in region play, you start getting some film where your opponents are playing each other. You able to look into that heritage film a little bit and see what keys they shut Southeast down for focus next week? I know this week is the bye week, but
yeah, when we get tape, we always look at kind of, you know, say we're looking at the offense, we look at their formations, how they want to move the ball against us. With our defense, we're going to be lined up this way, and we try to find a team that has a similar kind of alignment that we do. So that's where they were trying to hit and attack us. So with Heritage defensively, we kind of looked through that and just saw, they did a couple things different than necessarily what we do, but we picked up some keys that Heritage also saw with Southeast coming at them offensively. And we do that with most all the films when we get all the way back to the spring game film when we look at stuff like that.
Well, I want to close tonight. We're talking about it every week in one way or another. We're bringing it up and discussing it. But on Mondays when you get the team back together after a Friday night, especially against a rivalry like Pickens, what do you say to block that noise out, to get these guys pumped back up or pumped up and say, hey guys, let's get to work. We're a team. What are some of the things you discussed with the guys?
Well, I think it was really important, going through a big rival outcome the way it was, the feelings, the noise that's all around the football team. There is some great positives too. And one of the things I saw that was somebody posted, and I told the kids and shared the kids with this was courage. Having the courage, not even about really with football or even high school. I'm talking about becoming a man in life in general, stepping out at practice and stepping on that field and having the courage to stand out there. And just like Grizzly was saying, love of football. We're out here together. Everybody on the team is together. And I think it takes courage for some young kids these days to stand up and say, I'm going to get better and work on myself and try to avoid all them pressures and outside stuff. That's what I'm really pleased about with all these kids on the football team and the small victories we see getting better each week, not necessarily translating to the scoreboard, but we know it as a coaching staff, and we praise that to our kids at practice, how they're doing and how they're getting better. And I think that's kind of our main focus just for this bye week as well, focusing on us. Let's get better. Let's put that product out on the field, take a step forward each week, and they've responded phenomenal to it.
Let me ask you the same question. 30 years working with these young men, 30 years showing up on Monday morning, win or lose, got to get back to work. What are some of the things you're talking to your guys when you get them together, the offensive line or even the team in general? What are some of the things you're saying?
Well, every time we hit the field, the thing I talk to my unit about is today's a day to get better. No matter where you are, today's a day to work to get better. And have a focus about specifically what you want to get better at. And they know what that is because they've been corrected so many times. They know, hey, I didn't step right on this, or my stance was bad here, I didn't have a flat back this time. And so having an objective every day and just working to make yourself better. Because all we ask is we ask them to be a better football player, a better student, and a better man each day than they were the day before. And that's what we're after.
I appreciate it, Coach. Didn't mean to have to call you out on that 30-year thing, but we just had to, huh?
Oh,
he was in diapers. When
I get him enough.
Do you get it?
Tell stories.
Huh?
He tells stories, and I said, Coach, I was born in '86.
Yeah. Around the office, I do the when I was a kid. So I know where you come from, Coach.
I keep them young.
That's right.
Hey, let's just go over it one more time. Friday night, the Bobcats will not be on the field. They got an off week. So if you want to ride around, check out some of the other teams in Quad A Region 6 football. Here's what we have on Friday night. Ridgeland Panthers will be hosting the Lafayette Ramblers. Southeast Whitfield will be hosting Pickens. Northwest Whitfield will be hosting Heritage. And I'm your host, BKP. You've been watching Bobcat Turf Talk, brought to you by Team FYN Sports, Circuit World of East LJ, and also thank you, Shane's Rib Shack. Shane's Rib Shack for providing the meal, Pepsi for providing drinks, and all of our Team FYN sponsors. Before we go, want to remind you, check out Team FYN Sports Facebook page. If you will check out the Team FYN Sports Facebook page, like our page, and then follow us on Twitter at Team FYN Sports. That's it. It's 7:30. We'll see you in 2 weeks. We'll not be back next week. In 2 weeks, we'll be back with these Bobcats. Take us out of here. Grizzly has left the building. It's over.